About the New York Times.
Good, you're supposed to.
All right.
Maybe
Sorry, Katie.
blinds came down, you wouldn't get that glare.
I know. I don't think the glare's not as much. I'm not getting a good connection here on this stupid phone.
Are you doing anything with Day of Giving or?
I am.
Okay,
I'm
we
doing
talk about
everything
that,
today.
because that's what, the 5th? Right?
Tomorrow.
Starts at midnight tonight.
Yep.
Oh, well there you go.
May the 4th.
Yeah, that'll be a good thing. I was going to mention that, so
Yeah.
that'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually donate our services.
Okay, here we go,
to the Region
guys.
Community Foundation. Big fan of that program.
Oh, good. Well, let's talk about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of philanthropy.
And then for contact info, phone number, email address, website. What do you want to?
Yeah, MKTNG. All 5 letters. .co is the web
Okay.
address.
Okay. Do you have a number or just that email address?
855 MKTNGCO.
Okay.
I think we'll probably only give your number once or just direct to the website
Yeah.
so that we can drive callers. So we're just going to give our show
Yeah, that's fine.
number over and over again?
I'm getting
Yeah.
a call from potential fraud. Do you think I should answer?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Right? That could be potential. Test.
Do you want to take
Can
it
you
over
hear me,
there?
Call her.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Jerry?
First
Mike
time
one.
caller, long time listener.
Katie, go ahead.
Testing, mic 2, testing. Good? Okay.
3.
Can you hear me? Testing. 1 2 1 2. 3 minutes 30 seconds.
3 minutes, 30 seconds. Excellent.
I can do this. I can eat this croissant in 3 minutes.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
I can eat it in 30 seconds.
Should
No problem.
we take minutes? I
No.
can eat that croissant in 10 seconds.
Eat that croissant.
Forget Name That Tune. This is the new game show now.
That's right. How fast can you eat that
Jim, I
croissant?
can eat all those chicken nuggets in 2 minutes. But can you keep them down? That's the real challenge. And then becomes Fear Factor.
There you go.
Yeah.
We need more eating competition TV shows.
Right?
That's what this country needs. More eating. Right.
Eating of the right stuff.
I miss American Gladiator.
Oh, well, now you have American Ninja Warrior.
It's
Right?
not
Yeah.
the same. They don't beat each other up though.
No, that's right. There needs to be
That's what I'm missing.
more
There's no Nerf
combat.
guns flying in the air.
More combat.
How have you been?
What?
How have you been?
I've been great.
Good.
I've been great, actually. Yeah. Been having a lot of fun.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. How have you been?
Good. I've been just run over busy. I just cannot keep up. I'm learning some lessons, that's for sure.
Really? What lessons are you learning?
Internal leverage. I'm learning about having the right people in the right
This is
seats.
organizational dynamics, sort of.
Yeah.
Well, I think as an entrepreneur, you can either be a sole proprietor or you basically have to grow a team. Like, there's no in between. You know what I mean? You reach a critical mass, and then it's like, okay, you gotta grow and have leverage, or you just gotta plod along at whatever revenue number works for you. But you can't do both. So that's what I'm discovering.
We should talk more about that.
Good stuff for you to pass on to your clients too, as they're hiring people, right? And
Well,
building
they all
teams.
have teams, I guess.
Do you,
I don't
do you
want
get
them
some
to
clients
know.
that are that don't have teams, and you're helping them build a team though? Do you get some of
Yeah,
that?
a little bit. How kind of music is?
I don't know.
It's like Caribbean music, but there was like some video game or something.
I don't want to go to the dentist.
I heard a
and
little
hear
Mario
this.
Brothers.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're mixing it.
A little marimba with the Mario Brothers.
You have dentist today?
No, that was a few weeks ago. I went.
Oh, he said you didn't want to go to the dentist.
No, I don't. If they're playing this music in the lobby, isn't this a dentist office?
Oh, I don't know. Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
I only,
Small.
I only
Island
recognize
Dental Group or
background
something.
music.
You can play video games and listen to music while you're waiting.
Dentist karaoke. We already asked you. We already try to get you to talk when our hands are in your mouth. So.
I know, right?
We'll put on some music and have
How
a
are your children
karaoke.
doing?
Yeah. Exactly.
What? How are they?
So are we live? Are we live on the internet right now?
We're live on,
We
yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But we don't know how many people are watching because the screen's
I've
facing
got
on the wall.
4.
Hello, Facebook audience.
And then we'll put that onto a web or a video, and then we'll push it on LinkedIn. And
Love it.
things.
I will blow it up.
We'll go on YouTube, so then you can link to it and all that.
Yes, we have a
And by
marketing
blow it up,
person, so.
I mean I'm gonna have my parents watch it.
These headphones have in the back.
I know.
It's bad.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mark Bellows, a tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen from the recently acquired Galena, which Katie and I used to work for.
Katie McConnell here. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. What's going on, Katie?
Kicking off Entrepreneur Month.
Yes, absolutely. And also tomorrow, Big Day of Giving. So
Yeah,
Big Day of Giving.
we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, there's bigdayofgiving.org, and you can do hashtag BDOG. So Big Day Giving, go to bigdayofgiving.org if you want to give to a particular charitable organization. There are a lot of companies that will do matching, and our guest today, which is Scott Eggert, is going to talk a little bit more about that.
Awesome.
And then Friday is Roseville 2017. It's going to be in Roseville, of course, and Clifton Larson Allen is sponsoring some awards, including Business Person of the Year,
I will be
Entrepreneur,
there at
and
least
Young
for a little
Person.
while.
I will be as well. I'm giving the Entrepreneur Award and
Oh,
maybe the
nice.
Young Person one as well.
Do we
The
know who the
presenter.
winners are yet, or
We
can't
do,
say?
but we can't say.
Oh, okay.
It gets the big reveal at the lunch.
Got it.
So-
Hopefully, there's no auditor scandal.
I know.
Like there was
Hopefully
at the
not.
Oscars.
Y'all have the wrong envelope. That would be bad news.
Yeah.
And then the president released his tax simplification plan earlier this week, or late last week. So it was actually last Wednesday morning. Very exciting. You know, whether or not that's going to go anywhere, we'll see.
Does it simplify things?
It does.
Well,
It simplifies things
Mission accomplished.
terribly or wonderfully, depending on your point of view. It does a lot of simplification. It gets rid of a lot of deductions, but it also reduces the number of brackets. So,
I'll have to check it out.
how was your weekend?
It was good. I can't even remember what happened. It feels like it was so long ago. This morning was a doozy.
Coming in is tough.
The traffic, just some client matters that started early this morning. I was ready to just take a little bottle of Jack Daniels through the
Hey.
Starbucks drive-thru and just say, just pour that right in there.
I think
Extra
in
shot. I
Texas-
brought the shot. Here
I think
you
in
go.
Texas you can do that, right? I think in Texas you can actually get a shot at
Don't worry, I
Starbucks.
won't drink it in the car. I'll wait till I get to
Yeah.
work. Just go ahead and pour that right in there. Speaking of whiskey, our guest Scott is a foodie and whiskey connoisseur, right?
I am, yes.
Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I think
Scott?
It's a beautiful morning out.
Yeah,
It
Scott's
is
the
nice.
president and CEO of. Do you pronounce it MKTNG or do you like? Is it
We
Mark?
pronounce the letters, absolutely, because nobody would find us otherwise.
Okay.
We don't call ourselves marketing.
Yeah.
No, the marketing agency is named MKTNG. It's meant to evoke sort of like a professional services company, like a CPA firm.
Right. So president and CEO of MKTNG.
Yes, which stands for marketing.
Sounds good. You can find
It's
it.
not an acronym.
No, there are no. In fact, there is nobody with those initials actually in the entire company.
Yeah, so you can find him at mktng.co.
Yes, .co.
Website.
Yeah, the M was it's unavailable.
So just the co.
And we're not in Colombia.
You can also find on Twitter MKTNG.co
Yes,
at MKTNG.
you're on there.
Yeah,
We're there. We're all
You're all over it.
We'll be talking with Scott a little later this morning about his story as we kick off Entrepreneur Month here
Yes.
on the radio for the month of May. Talk about his background, his story, kind of lessons learned, failure, which I always love to talk about. I've experienced a lot of that lately, so I can.
I can speak to that.
Always.
No, let's share our failures. It's great.
Yeah,
Lessons.
absolutely. Failure
Always
story.
good lessons and to grow from them, right?
Yes. As long as we're doing that, then it's fine.
Absolutely. Yes, we've got a whole month of entrepreneurship and entrepreneur guests and all around entrepreneurs. It's going to be a really exciting month. And you're the kickoff.
I am
Yes.
so happy to be here and to help set the high bar that I know
Oh,
you guys
absolutely.
are going to have all month long.
Oh, well, and for those listening, we do have a call-in number in case you want to call and ask Scott any questions or just otherwise tell an embarrassing story, 866-576-1055 is how you can get a hold of us. So feel free to give us a jingle this
Call
morning.
in. Jerry will patch you in, and we'll get you your questions on the show. We've had Nick from Citrus Sites call the last couple weeks, so.
Greg.
Greg from Citrus. Glenn, you're right, Glenn. Not even close to Nick.
Shoot.
Glenn from Citrus Sites. See, you got to call in again, Glenn, and we'll get you for the
Yes.
third time.
Thank you to Citrus Heights.
Yeah, that's right. So tell us a little bit about MKTNG, how it started, and what you guys do.
Well, that'll be the rest of the show. But MK, we've been around.
Give a teaser.
We've been around for 3 years
Okay.
here in Sacramento. I started the company. I'm the sole owner, and we're a marketing agency. It wasn't planned this way, but a lot of our clients are aspirational destination retail. So we work with clients like the Palladio Shopping Center in Folsom, a luxury tile distributor in the south area of Sacramento by the name of Natural Stone Design Gallery.
Uh-huh.
And we also do some marketing services for Eyelash Studios, amazing lash here in Sacramento as well.
Oh, I think, didn't they just open up a location over in the Fountains?
They did actually
Okay.
just a couple months ago.
Yep, right by our office.
You can now get your eyelashes done at Fountains.
I
Good.
don't know what it means to get my eyelashes done. Have you had your eyelashes done?
No, I've
You
received
haven't
many.
demoed the product.
I've received a lot of compliments on my eyelashes over the years, but so
that's
no,
not it.
I'm afraid to try to improve them in any fashion. But this is sort of like an eyelash replacement product to make them fuller, and you don't have to apply your own mascara. I'm actually not a spokesman for the company, so I should.
Yeah, that's as much as you want to say.
I really don't want to go out on the limb there, but it is a great product, and they seem to be flourishing as a franchise company.
Oh, excellent. So it's a franchise. That's great.
It is, yeah.
That's great.
I love what you said about it wasn't planned, but here's what we do, because that's so true of the entrepreneurial story is,
Oh, yeah.
well, this is kind of how I fell into, I've found myself a construction company hiring expert, which is not what my plan was, but it kind of just, you sort of tumble into things and.
Well, absolutely. Well, I think that's part of entrepreneurship is you get in the marketplace and you follow the business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You look for the opportunities,
Yes.
but what comes to you is sometimes serendipitous and unplanned.
So what did you do before starting MKTNG?
Well, I worked for another shop.
Okay.
I've worked for 3 different agencies here in Sacramento. I started my marketing career later than some, about 10 years ago. I'm almost 40, but yeah.
Did you get a marketing degree in college?
No, I did
Oh.
not.
Accounting?
I didn't even finish college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really kind of snuck in the back door of the whole operation. I started. I've had 3 separate careers. I've had a career in procurement, which is basically a big word for purchasing or buying.
You're a buyer. Yeah.
And so I did that in the telecommunications industry, and that became not a great place to be. If you remember the late '90s,
Yes.
early 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
it was seemed like overnight. One's the best industry, and then the next day the not so great industry.
Absolutely.
And so we moved from that into cabinet making, which just seemed like a logical progression.
Of course,
Yeah, from
yeah,
procurement.
absolutely.
Cabinet making, perfect.
No, I between jobs I learned how to build cabinets and design, and so I started a little cabinet company and construction company, and was doing that for some time. And then if you remember 2006, 7, 8. Construction became the
Yes,
bad industry.
yes.
Yeah, I seem to be
You're
picking
the leading edge of the
picking
bad
all
industries.
the wrong things to be involved in.
Well, we got to actually. We'll cut off real quick. We got to take a break.
Yeah,
When we
no
get back,
problem.
we'll finish the conversation. You went from telecommunication procurement to cabinet making to
we have
marketing.
we'll have to
Oh,
say
we'll have to see.
conclusion
All right.
after these messages.
Okay, that was a rough lead out.
Wasn't so bad. That was good. When
I'm sorry.
You need to pull your mic a little closer to your face. Like, you can lift it up.
You can move it around.
There you
yeah.
Wow.
There you go. That's better.
So I don't have to like hunch over.
No,
I
you
can
can
sit up
actually
straight.
save your neck.
Nice.
Why do I not have sound?
Do we have normal, like, is this 1 minute? Or
Yes.
That's right. So the
Okay.
fingers are minutes. So Jerry
All right,
tells
cool.
me, and
So
then
now-
I
okay, gotcha.
hopefully tell you guys.
If he gives you the middle finger, then it's a different.
Yeah.
It's something totally
And this
different.
is commercial. And this is like.
Thank you.
oh.
Just shut up. Can be a little verbose, so just, a little.
was talking to someone, had lunch with someone yesterday who's actually trying to get an associate to be on the show as a guest.
Oh, really?
And he's like, he will never shut up, so you'll be fine.
What business is it?
He's in investment advisor type person.
Okay.
So I don't know that it necessarily will fit in somewhere in our schedule, but
What company?
they're Merrill Lynch. But the guy is like, he doesn't really work with the public. He's more of like an institutional buyer type thing, or decider of what people fund and buy, or I don't know, something along those lines. So, bonds. He knows all about bonds. So.
Maybe we can fit him in November?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I told him, I said maybe not.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
because
just dry
construction you
material.
can almost,
But yeah,
because bonds. But I agree. That was it.
it's just not that sexy.
But that's what's happened with the show, Katie. People are trying to get their people on the show.
Right? They're lining up and banging the door down to get on.
And we're back. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Mark and Katie here with Beyond the Numbers, and our guest today, Scott.
We're all very chatty this morning.
We are chatty
I
this
started
morning.
early and just, I don't know, just caffeinated up, I guess.
Yeah. So you haven't had that shot of
The
whatever,
Jack, I don't
or
have the,
tequila,
I don't have anything in this drink except for what came with it.
Yeah.
Whatever fell into it when they made it in the Starbucks.
So you were making cabinets.
Oh yes, back to the story. I was making cabinets, and construction became not a very good idea due to the capital and economies and whatnot. And so we made a jump to marketing. I was doing a lot of marketing and business development in that industry, and so I made a jump to marketing. I had an early start doing social media. I worked on some projects and had been blogging for a nonprofit that I was working with. And so that became, a benefit to our clients, and then I got involved with the social media club here in Sacramento, became the vice president or president, I can't remember what it was at the time, but then I got picked up at my first agency, and so I started doing social media for...
Now, did you say the social media club? Was there only one?
Yeah, no, there's only one. There can be only one.
Okay, yeah, of course.
So yeah, it was a great club back in 07, and we were talking about social media.
MySpace and
I think MySpace had bit the dust by then, but
Everyone had an AOL account.
But what was crazy was Facebook had, I think, 500 million users,
Wow.
which is next to nothing, right? Because they have 2 billion now.
Yeah.
And Barack Obama was running for president, and when he was elected, it was like he was the social media president. Social media got him elected.
Wow. Yeah.
And to look back at how small and insignificant it was back then, and how
much
prolific it is now.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
So, in the spirit of Entrepreneur Month, what was it that finally made you go, I need to do this on my own? And I'm sure we all talk to people all the time that say, I really want to go out on my own, I have my own ideas, but it's really scary, right? Financially, success and failure, just infrastructure-wise, there's so many moving parts to that. What was it that finally made you go, you know what, I'm doing this?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's because it is scary. It's scary as hell.
Yeah.
I came to it late. I mean, I think maybe like a lot of guys, men, I was kind of a late bloomer. I was probably like 25 when I was sort of like, I was working
Moved out of your mom's house?
No. I was
No, he's still there.
I was married and had 2 children by that time. But so I was, I'm pretty much an adult at that time. But I was in a position where I was working around people and doing things, and I thought I could do this better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's that sort of kernel that's embedded in all of us as entrepreneurs. Is like,
I can do this better.
I can do this better, right? And so that's when I first started setting out to do it. And I started my first company, which was a cabinet company, which requires a lot of, capital. Frankly, there's labor.
Yeah, I bet.
There's labor and tools and trucks and trailers and stuff. And so it wasn't an easy business to get into, but I loved it. So that was the first time that I really started into that, and I've run 4 companies since then.
Oh, is that right? What? So any other cabinet companies? Or
No, just the one cabinet
Okay.
company. I was, after that, really, after I got out of that and got into marketing and really discovered, a trade that was based on personality and communication and relationships, I really decided to stick with that.
So why 4 companies?
Why?
Is it
Well,
just
it wasn't
the
like I
companies
said. I'll-
change?
These
Yeah.
were. It was sort of a linear evolution. So it was, cabinets, and then my first company, marketing consulting, and then went to work for an agency, and then I was a partner at an agency that is still running today, which is with my business partner, without me, and then I went, worked for a couple other shops, and then finally went back and started my own.
So, serial entrepreneur, which is, I think it's quite common with entrepreneurs. It's like, I want to do this, I can do this on my own, I can do it better.
I think once you get the bug, you really decide that eventually you're going to be out on your own.
Yeah.
You're going to be doing your own thing, and then once you embrace it, it becomes a mentality. It really does. And so, my entrepreneurship has led into an entrepreneurial approach and lifestyle when it comes to the nonprofits I get involved in.
Right.
And
you're all over the place. You're really involved with the Business Journal, with their Businessopolis,
Connectionopolis.
Connectionopolis.
Yeah, hashtag Connectionopolis.
Okay.
We had that, and then we had one of those in our Glen office a couple years ago.
Okay. Well, and Scott organized a panel that I spoke on
Oh, okay.
Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Yeah,
It was Valentine's
on
Day.
LinkedIn Connections.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
we tried to kind of build this matchmaking theme off of Business Network.
With Freddie Silvera, who I believe is listening this morning, and Patrick Harbison as well. I
Yes.
just ran into at the Make-A-Wish event on Saturday. So.
Yeah, so I get out quite a bit. Honestly, it was when I first began with the social media club and started working and putting together panels. We did between 20 and 30 events a year, and then I somehow acquired a skill of knowing and networking with really nice people like yourself. And so when we approach a subject matter like marketing or matchmaking or how to use LinkedIn to be an attractive employee, to be recruited, it was a natural fit to reach out to you. So the Business Journal and I have partnered now for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Putting together these Connectionopolis events,
Wow.
and they're a lot of fun. It really is a passion of mine to be able to just connect with other professionals in the community and have conversations like we're having this morning.
Yeah. We're talking with Scott Eggert, the president and CEO of MKTNG company, mktng.co. Here's their website. And if you want to call and ask a question to Scott here, it's 866-576-1055. So you work with the Business Journal, you work with nonprofits.
Yes, so I sort of was raised with this kind of ethos of giving back.
Right.
And so in everything that we do, we try to, give something back. And my business partner several years ago, Jeff Sakala at ClickSpring, he and I, when we were running that shop, we thought, well, we need to have some pro bono clients. And one of those pro bono clients was the Region Community Foundation. So
Okay.
we reached out to them, and we saw this Give Local Now campaign that they had started many years ago, and we wanted to keep that thing going. And we were mostly a social media shop, so we reached out about donating social media services. And we ran their first, it was like a Giving Tuesday campaign. I don't know if you remember Giving
I
Tuesday.
do remember that.
Right?
Mhm.
So we ran that for them, and then we also did the Arts Day of Giving, the Region Community Foundation. And that was really the start of the Big Day of Giving.
So how long has Big Day of Giving been happening, do you know?
Gosh, I think this is 5 years.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and it's been progressively growing and growing.
yeah.
So I've remained involved, and so in fact, MKTNG, we donate social media management services to the foundation for the campaign. So as of April 1st, our team took over social media management for the B-Dog campaign.
Wow.
And then we also provide around-the-clock service on the Big Day of Giving. So I'll be at the Region Community Foundation in the command center with Jeannie Howell and Priscilla and their whole team, and we're going to spend 24 hours together monitoring and running this
Drinking
Could
a
you
lot of
maybe
coffee.
describe a little bit? Yeah,
There will be drinking.
Can you
and some coffee.
Can you describe maybe for our listeners exactly what Big Day of Giving is now? I mean, I know what it is because I'm on some nonprofit boards. So, but maybe explain what Big Day of Giving is.
Yeah, well, the Big Day of Giving, so it's a 24-hour giving marathon, and there are this year over 600 nonprofits involved. So it's a massive, it covers the 5-county region, and really all these nonprofits sign on to a program. Now, it's not, what's really great about the way the foundation has put this program together is it really is a campaign that activates everyday people as philanthropists. It's basically, how can we get more people in Sacramento involved in philanthropy, and how can we increase the amount of giving per person? And in the process of bringing on these nonprofits to participate, they give them a tremendous amount of equipping and training to participate in the program that they actually end up using year-round.
Yeah.
So it really is a day for us as a region to focus on philanthropy and giving back to the
An awareness.
yeah, and to give back to these organizations that are really doing a great deal in our communities. So whether or not you care about animals or people who are hungry or the elderly or the homeless, really there's a lot of organizations who are helping those folks in our community, and this is a great campaign to raise awareness and to give to those organizations.
So people can go to bigdavegiving.org if they want to donate and choose an organization?
Yeah, they can. And what's great is the community center, they basically have a new website this year, and to do research on an organization is a lot easier than it was in years past. So you can go in and you say, I want to give to the arts, I want to give to this. And they'll help, basically pair you up with the right organization based on your passions.
That's great. I've got 2 boards that I sit on, profit boards, and so both of them I've been pushing out for.
What boards are those? I'm interested.
Keaton Raphael Memorial, and then United Cerebral Palsy, UCP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, KRM's definitely gonna have a big push, and UCPs as well. So, and of course, everything out there, all the organizations that are associated with.
And all your hair grew back from your
I got a haircut
St.
last
Baldrick's.
week.
Oh
I
my
already got a
gosh.
haircut. Yeah, it's
From
tough.
the St. Baldrick's.
I did the St. Baldrick's, shaved my head.
fantastic.
So I did it March 4th, I think was my
I've
shave
been
day.
doing that for 20 years.
Have you really?
No. I mean,
in spirit.
yes. I'm just sort of supporting it.
Maybe you can shave your beard off.
That's happened once in the last several years, and it was not a pretty sight. I didn't like it. I didn't recognize myself.
How old are your kids? Are they a little bit older?
They are, yeah, 13 and 15.
So they recognize you without the beard. Or was it younger? Were they younger?
Oh no, it was. I did it for Halloween actually 3 years ago.
Okay.
I shaved off the beard and did sort of. I was Mr. Clean.
That's a good look.
Yeah, it was great. I just had a little clip-on earring, and it was great. And then Halloween's the day before November, and I did No Shave November that year, and so that was nice. But not really. Actually, I did, instead of No Shave November, that was the first year I did the mustache. What's that?
Movember.
Yeah, so I did Movember that year. So me with no hair, no beard, and no mustache is really not a pretty sight. So now I do No Shave November. I do the beard.
When we get back from the break, I want to talk more. Well, I want to talk about the balance, because you're so involved in so many things. How do you balance out your involvement with, frankly, the billable work that you have to generate in order to keep the lights on and keep the doors open, and just kind of what your advice and trials and tribulations have been through navigating that process?
Yeah, I think that'd be really good, because that is a challenge that a lot of people face.
I struggle with that.
I do all the time, because I'm
time.
like, again, on multiple boards, involved in community organizations. You're like, how do I have time to do all that and get all the stuff done and have the family?
Of doing that to help promote your business, and then go back to the community, but then also someone has to do the work. And off air we were talking about leverage and the merits of building out a team so that you can stay involved as your brand, and then also have your people do the execution piece.
Absolutely, that'd be a great conversation, because we're in a real. I and our company are in a real sweet spot in regards to that right now. So
I would love all the advice you can give.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
sure
give you
our
advice.
listeners
I don't know if it may not all be good advice, but I'll tell you what we do.
Okay, we'll listen to a half hour, but that'll be good. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation with Scott Eggert. You're listening to Beyond the Numbers. Am I saying your last name right?
Yay, that worked perfectly.
Eggert, what do you?
It's Eggert, but
Eggert.
however you pronounce it is fine.
We're in a flow,
I'm not
guys.
offended. We're doing good. That last break, I was trying to send out a tweet, and then we were back on.
No more water?
Oh,
Or
no,
you want any water?
No thanks. Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm struggling with right now, because I'm at a critical mass where my best use is really bringing in business, and I'm flush with opportunity. But I spent all day Monday talking on the phone with new client prospects about search and consulting, and we're doing a lot with building out in-house recruiting departments, consulting on org chart, just more beyond search. And then I didn't have any time to do my work because I was doing new clients all day.
Wow.
And so then, okay, yesterday I, locked my door and spent the first half of the day just banging out work, but then ignored client leads. And how do you kind of, manage that? That's what I was saying about internal leverage and having a team that, you can rely on to help execute that.
Sure, absolutely. I can speak a little bit to that. Mostly how I do things is probably irresponsible.
But then also I have a hard time because I have a little bit of a no one can do it as good as I can mentality, or this is my brand and I'm putting my stamp on it.
So delegating becomes very difficult.
Well, and even if I delegate, it's like, well, let me see it. Or, then the first time something goes haywire, when you delegate, then it's okay, give it back.
That's a huge challenge.
Sure, taking your hands off and your eyes off the
Because it's
off the
still your
product.
brand, and if something goes screwy, guess who's getting the call?
Gets the call at 6 a.m. in the morning. It's you.
It's me this morning.
I had one of those. I was just looking at yesterday where
Right.
it was a tax stuff we did for a client last year, and a piece of information left off the return, and it was the senior had reviewed it and signed off on it and said everything was right, and so I said okay, and so.
Great, because you're putting your trust, because you can't look at everything.
I can't call the client and say, well, it's my senior messed up. I mean, you could do that, but that's.
They're like, but your signature is on the bottom of our tax return,
yeah,
so.
I gotta take the responsibility. So.
Yep.
So, but I can't do everything. You can't do it all yourself.
You can't review that all with a fine-tooth comb.
No, but that's
You get leverage.
I don't know. I feel bad with the squeaking chair. By the way, I don't sit still very well.
It
Does it go on the air?
Yeah, it did. You can't hardly hear it.
You can't hardly hear it. I like that.
Facebook Live will be all over.
Oh god, everybody's back.
Stop the
squeaking
squeak.
chair, Scott. Sit still.
Hashtag no squeak or something.
But no, I had a boss years ago that they just drove home the idea of always say we.
Mm-hmm.
Like we. We're a company. We all work together. Everything's a team.
I like that, yeah.
And so
Go down with the ship.
even if you are the one who's personally responsible, say, hey, we made a mistake. This happens. You can as the leader, you can say, I take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, it's not about owning the fault, it's about finding a solution. But
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
happens. So.
Yeah.
But you don't need to throw the senior guy in the bus either. It's like, oh, that was John. He messed it up. It's just a matter of like, we're a team. We're working on everything.
Here's how we're gonna fix it for you.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Have you heard your commercial yet?
No.
Do you have a commercial?
I have two. So purportedly.
Here's my Galena one.
I
I
know
was
they
gonna say,
exist
here's
in the
Galena.
world.
Yeah, exactly. Who is Galena?
I need to follow up with them. We have
Yeah, they were all changed. At least mine are changed to CLA. Now there seem to be
They're back.
Galena's back.
It's hard because of all the admin stuff. You've got bills and AP, and do you do your own accounting too?
I do.
30.
I do a lot of my own accounting. Like I do the billing because I earn the money.
Right. Oh yeah.
but then I have a bookkeeper who does my monthlies, and then I have a CPA that I see as little as possible. I won't say it on the air because they bill. They're so expensive.
And we're back. You listen to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network.
We got
Market
the
Katie
jams on
with
here
our
this
guest,
morning.
Scott Eggert,
This is good music.
President and CEO of MKTNG. Get those abbreviated letters in the right order. MKTNG.co.
Yeah.
And if you want to call in and have questions for us, 866-576-1055. So we had a great lead in right before the commercial break. What are we going to...
My
Refresh.
question was
Very well.
about balance. So as an entrepreneur, especially when you're starting a business, what I've found is you get to a critical mass where you go, okay, this is how much revenue I can do as me. And that's not where I want to be. So how do I get to the next level? And then it becomes this pendulum swing of going out and finding the work and being behind the desk and doing the work, which means leverage, which then comes into play delegation and letting go of control. So what's your thought on that, and how do you manage it all?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, you also mentioned philanthropy, which I want to get back to as well.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
and managing that and the mix of everything.
Same kind of it ties right in there.
Yeah, and so it is definitely something that we have to throw into the mix. However, just in terms of everyday operations, it really comes down to staffing, right? Having the right people on your team. And I've been fortunate from the very beginning. My first hire, Angela Antil, as our client services director. very purposefully, I sought her out when I got her resume. She owned a competing shop to my former agency that I had co-founded, and so she interviewed really well, and I could tell she was driven, entrepreneurial, and knew how to get things done. And she has been, my key staff to making sure all the trains run on time. So we've been able to build out the team and add, staff and then other partners that work on our projects with us. And it's just been key having the right staff in the right place so that that things are going to get done when you need to get them done. And so when to trust, that when they call for support, that you provide support, and just really need to be able to lean on them to do what's right in those situations, so that you can focus on what you got to do, which is, as the principal in my shop, I do all the business development, and so it's important for me to focus on business development.
Because if you're not doing it, it's not getting done.
That's right.
We talk a lot on this show about working on the business versus working in the business.
Yes.
And as an entrepreneur, you do both, and so trying to figure out how to balance that mix of, looking at the fire versus holding the end of the fire hose is a challenge.
Well, and let's tie that in real quickly to one of your favorite topics about what have been failures and how have you learned. So you've run now 4 businesses, so I'm sure you've had times where you're not balanced in that. You're doing too much of one and not enough of the other, whatever. So what maybe give us an example?
Yeah, and I still go through periods. I get us involved in projects, whether it be philanthropy or client work, that can be all consuming, and everybody on the team gets in over their eyeballs, and we all sort of get lost in the work, and we try and make those periods as short as possible. And hopefully, if they're revenue generating opportunities, we look to where we can staff or bring in interns and let the load on folks as quickly as possible. But those things do happen. They do happen. And what's the worst is oftentimes I'll let us get involved in projects where I get taken out of the business, and that's when things become very difficult.
Yes.
So I've allowed that to happen a couple of times. Most recently, February of this year was sort of a difficult time, just when I was getting called on to work on a project that was outside of our core business, but it was one of our nonprofit passion projects.
I love that, a passion project. I'm going to start calling it that every time I take on something that's sort of outside of my wheelhouse. It's a passion
I like that
project.
too. I've got a couple of those.
You have a passion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm sure your board work is the nonprofits you're involved in. They sound very personal, and the things that they work to alleviate. I'm sure you have a close relationship with those things. My passion is the arts.
Right, and you were involved with the Art Street project.
I was, and that's really what I was talking about in February. So it was a 3-week activation out at the middle of Broadway. We had over 30,000 visitors, and my contribution was to that project was really to do all the media and relations, and then there was a little bit of logistics and support, but there was an on-site team that did a great deal of that. But it was consuming. It was calls at night with media showing up expecting to have interviews and people to talk to,
and that's not a paid gig, right?
Oh, no.
And you said that was a 3-week?
Yeah, it was 3 weeks.
Man, wow, and it's unpaid. Yeah, that's your passion.
Yeah,
right.
And so I have to explain to the staff, because it really is. I drag our whole company into it.
Sure.
And but trying to explain to your staff, like, oh, I'm not going to be available. I'm going to be at this. I'm going to spend all morning with 4 news stations shooting live TV for a client that's not paying us, and y'all are going to have to pick up the slack.
Right.
Is not always a polite situation to do as a leader, but we but what's great is, as an entrepreneur, to allow, I have found this very sweet spot for myself personally and for our company, is I have these passions of enabling art and being involved in the community and creating space for people to come together and get to know each other and get exposed to new and awesome things.
Right.
And so I helped co-found a nonprofit, which kind of flows into M5 Arts, which is a group that does the Art Street project.
Right.
And it's fun because it's a personal passion, and it melds well with how I develop business. So I develop business through relationships and through networking. I'm a very, very soft sell. But if you need marketing, please do go to our website.
MKTNG.com.
We're on Twitter too. Tweet me and we will solve your marketing problems.
At MKTNG. You can also email Scott at MKTNG.com.
Yeah, but so back to your question though, because some of the, like, where do you apply where do you apply your energy, right?
Right.
And so I have a really hard time with business development because I'm such a soft sell, and I'm really just out there in the community and meeting people, and that's where most of my business comes from. So my last 2 client wins that are a big part of, like, we're having a fantastic year this year.
Congratulations.
But yeah, thank you. But our last 2 big client wins came from just the most randomest person-to-person relationships. So most recently, it was a gentleman I met 7 years ago when I was at Augustine Ideas, and then I pitched his company a year prior, and he didn't hire us. But then he left his employer, and he ran into this, real estate company, this big real estate company, that needed marketing services, and so he just handed us this opportunity that has become one of our greater clients.
That's great.
Isn't it funny when that happens? I have that too. Clients become candidates turn into clients.
Yeah.
The recruiting cycle side.
So it's a wonderful sort of serendipitous thing, but what the problem is, it's hard to duplicate it. So
right.
As a marketing professional, we work with our clients. Hey, we're going to put together these marketing programs. We're going to track your leads and tell you where your revenues are coming through. And you say, well, my funnel is Jim and Sally over here, but it really is a difficult way to do business, but it has served me well.
Right.
Though I don't recommend it.
And I think going back to that staffing and leverage, a lot of folks are probably in the same boat of struggling with, it's really scary to hire staff. That's probably the second entrepreneurship hurdle once you take the leap, is I have to make payroll. And business is good right now, but what if it dries up and I have these people and their families and vans down by the river, and maybe it's just me, but it keeps me up at night worrying about, well, I need to add, but that makes me responsible for a whole heck of a lot more and dealing with that.
Absolutely. Having payroll is fun and scary all at the same time. Yeah. It's something when I set out to create this company and having run the agency before, I want it to be a real shop. I want to have real employees. There are a lot of marketing shops out there, smaller shops. Everybody's a 1099. There's no benefits, and I was like, this just doesn't feel like a real company. I wanted a family, and so we hire people. We pay them a great wage.
Provide benefits.
We provide benefits.
Wow.
We have medical benefits. We
Nice.
have 2 weeks off a year. Yeah, if you're looking for a job. We're not hiring.
But give Katie a resume.
Yeah,
Katie,
sure.
Katie is probably who I would go to recruit for sure. But yeah, we wanted to have a real company, and I think that's it's part of the balance, but it does become sort of this ominous.
Yes.
I need to have this much money in my account on the 5th and 25th of every
Yes.
month.
Yeah, we're talking with Scott Eggert, President and CEO of MKTNG company, a marketing company. And we're going to take a commercial break. When we get back, excuse me, we'll finish up the conversation with Scott and continue on with Entrepreneur Month.
All right. So next week we have, and I can do the lead in if
Okay.
you forget, but Jean Fox.
J or G?
Jean, Jean's female.
Okay.
She runs a company called Fox Productions. She does TV and media stuff. You should meet her, by the way, if you don't know her. She's a good friend of mine. She was
Don't know
the
her.
person that remind me to give you an intro.
Fox.
She was the big spin girl for a long time in the 90s.
Oh,
She
really?
spun the wheel, yeah. And she was in modeling the American Home Furnishings commercials that I'm in. She's their spokesperson. That's how I got into these commercials. She asked me to
It's all
be
connected.
the fake couch shopper, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But she runs a production company, and she also does makeup. And most of the makeup that she does is like blood and scars and
Oh,
stuff.
cool.
She works with firefighters and cops on like traffic red asphalt type videos, and she does like
Those are still
injury
around.
research.
Wow.
Are they still around? I know.
And she just did a horror movie, and she did all the makeup and stuff. And then her husband has a company called Fright Nights, where they both do, and they do Halloween props for haunted houses and stuff.
Wow, cool.
So they've got all kinds of weird stuff going on that's not, white collar corporate type
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
She'll be
Fox
interesting.
Productions.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Good. Anything else you particularly wanted to cover, Scott, that we haven't yet covered?
Gosh, I don't know. We touched a little bit on philanthropy.
Let's talk about biggest lesson learned maybe, or biggest advice you can give.
Yeah.
And we're back.
And then we'll wrap after that.
And we're back. You listen to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Along with Kate McConnell, Mark Bellows here, your co-hosts for Beyond the Numbers, and our guest today, Scott Eggert.
And we didn't have Glenn from Citrus Heights call us
Glenn didn't
today.
call us, I know. Yet.
Miss you, Glenn.
We miss you. Well, last month was hired and recruiting. Maybe he was much more
More
in his
engaged.
wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Scott Eggert, President CEO of
Glenn, are you
MKTNG.
anti-entrepreneur? I'm feeling
I think Glenn is probably an entrepreneur.
I think so.
We'll have
Yeah,
to have him on the
Seems
show.
like he's a hirer. Has employees, right? So tomorrow, big day giving. You're gonna try to get some rest because are you kicking it off?
I'm
like
gonna
at
try it.
midnight,
I
or-
have to figure out if I can fit some rest into today because
Yeah.
we start this evening at the command center, which is the Region Community Foundation office.
Mm-hmm.
So we start like around 9 or 10 actually this evening, assembling and getting ready, teeing everything up, and then it kicks off at midnight tonight.
And then it runs through midnight tomorrow.
Runs through midnight midnight.
And the good news is you guys don't have to actually answer phone, have a phone bank and write down people's credit card
Like a
numbers.
telethon
Like the old
from back
days
in
where
the
you'd
day.
have to take the money. I mean,
The
it's
Jerry
all
Lee
electronic.
Lewis
Yeah.
telephone.
So
Yeah, right.
what's interesting is they do run a phone bank. So as of last year, they run a phone bank. There were some complications, some technical complications.
That's right. Last year it got overwhelmed, didn't it? It was
Yeah,
a
there
server
were.
or something.
Yeah, I don't want to get too stuck on that, but yeah, they had like cascading blackouts with the server because the company running the back end was supporting multiple campaigns in multiple
Wow.
cities, and so as you'd expect, around 7 or 8 in the morning, when the rest of the nation was,
Yeah.
and peak giving, our server started to slow down. and-
Good problems to have though. When your cash register catches on fire because it's just so
It's too much.
ringing up too much, that's a good problem. to
That
have.
was definitely the initial response, but then the website was down, so we couldn't take donations.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
they actually
That's
they
unfortunate.
had a fantastic emergency response plan, which included operating a phone bank, and so they're just including that this year.
That's smart. So this is it's not just the Sacramento region that does this.
Well, it is the Sacramento region this time. So
Okay.
the Big Day of Giving, as a result of last year's fiasco, they spun off. They fired the company that was responsible for the technical problem, and that company was facilitating the campaign in multiple other cities. So they've moved the date this year to avoid any of the cities, and they're using a company that's not affiliated with multiple others going on at
Gotcha.
the same time. So.
Well, on the theme of entrepreneurship, you take a tumble, you fix it, you turn the dials and try again, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Absolutely, right. I think we learned from our failures, and they were prepared, very well prepared, and learned a lot more, and are even more so this year.
So let's talk a little bit more about that. Biggest failure or biggest piece of advice that folks listening can take away,
Or both.
or both? Maybe they're one and the same.
Yeah, I've experienced the biggest of failures. I mean, really, I've run companies that, basically the industry just disappeared beneath my feet.
Like the cabinet making?
Yeah, precisely.
Exactly.
The company that shall not be named. No, it was it was a very difficult couple years of life after I had to shut that company down.
I bet, yeah.
And redefine myself. But as an entrepreneur, I think that you have to demonstrate flexibility and agility, and look for opportunities in the marketplace. It was actually another conversation we were having earlier this morning. So you put out your shingle and you test the market, and you go where the business takes you.
Right.
And so for me personally, after trying to run this, construction company when nobody was doing construction, we adapted and went into marketing and found a flourishing career here.
Makes you wonder how the pet rock did so well.
Yeah, right?
I constantly scratch my head over that.
Or
Man.
the guy,
Seahorses.
the guy who sells those like,
Sea monkeys?
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Sea monkeys. You're right.
there's the guy who's marketing those pillows, right? That
The
guy
My
got-
Pillow. My
they-
mom just bought one.
What are they?
Oh gosh, I don't want to talk about it now because it's personal. But it's
I have no skin in the game. I haven't
Her mom-
heard back on if she's sleeping better or not.
the guy got sued and lost, right? And the guy, it's a really crappy pillow. Can I say crappy?
Sure. You just did.
It's a really bad pillow, and he was lost in court and is still
No, can't say that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, take that out in post.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so
So live and learn from mistakes. Live and learn from experiences.
yes, that's the lesson. And yet, there are people in the marketplace who go bad product after bad. I don't know, because they're suckers, I guess.
I mean, it's the right place at the right time, like you said. I wish I would have invented the Snuggie, even though the Slanket is a superior product in my opinion.
Slanket. I didn't even know there's such a thing as
That's
a
a whole
slanket.
other conversation.
Is that like a slinky blanket? What's this?
Well, it's
Slanket?
slanket.
You gotta Google it. There's web page after web page
I'm
about
afraid
the
to-
Slanket
I know.
versus the Snuggie. And the Slanket is superior, but the Snuggie had a better marketing campaign.
So are you slankets out of
And it
that
all
business
comes
now and
full
somebody's
circle.
snuggie?
I have no idea. I don't follow
Slanket.
the blanket.
Yeah, the main on as seen on
Market.
TV products really are a different breed.
They are. They
They
are.
are. But you asked for some advice. I think the best advice I could give is hire the right people. You got to really focus on your team, and you have to know your value. And that's another thing I think a lot of people just getting into business, we try to discount our way to success, and it's just never been a winning combination for me. So I have definitely found my success in hiring the right people, paying them fair, creating a good work environment, and then knowing our value. Building products and services around that, and knowing how to deliver those and charging a fair rate for your services.
And having an excellent CPA.
Amen to hiring the right people. And I am biased and partial because that's my business.
It is. Well, it is, and the CPA. I've been working with the same CPA for 10 years.
Great.
She has helped me and served my financial needs through all the companies that I have founded and co-founded.
Well, and business advisors in general, CPA, attorney, that type of stuff. I mean, as an entrepreneur, if you're actually working, on the stuff you want to work on, you're not going to be doing QuickBooks at night and LegalZoom.com.
Absolutely.
You turn that stuff over, do the
couldn't
stuff
agree more.
that
And I think
brings you value.
a lot of folks either don't want to give up control or they think, well, it's a commodity. Anyone can do bookkeeping. It's not that hard. Anyone can do hiring. It's not that hard. I can run an interview. Well, you know what? But this is what you're good at. You're a construction person. You're a cabinet maker. You're a marketing professional.
Mhm.
Focus on what you're good at so you can maximize that and let us do the rest of it for you.
And that's the leverage. It's the
Yeah,
general leverage like
absolutely.
we're talking about.
Well, I think it's just like hiring an employee. It really is. You really need to look at those vendor relationships and consider them as part of your team. And in my case, I have a CPA and a bookkeeper, and then there's a small piece of the accounting that I do myself, the billing, like I said, because I like to count the money.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
It's good to count the money.
Yeah, and then actually, and I have a separate person that does payroll,
Mhm.
and so I have 4 hands in
Yeah.
the accounting basket,
Sure.
as it were. But everybody knows their place,
Mhm.
and it's up to me to direct traffic, and we trust everybody and what they bring to the table.
Great. So that's good advice that I think you gave there, Scott. And I'm sure we'll probably have that similar theme throughout the month as we continue exploring Entrepreneur Month with other entrepreneurs
Absolutely.
about leveraging, hiring right.
Thank you, Scott, for being here today.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure, and I really enjoyed the conversation.
And folks that tuned in today, or for others that may be watching online, we will also be archiving this in podcast and recorded
Yep.
version, so we can
Yep, we'll have
continue the conversation offline if you have follow-up questions for Scott or want to continue the conversation.
So it's Scott Eggert, President CEO of MKTNG. So MKTNG.co, lost the M. So kind of like the Coliseum in Oakland. Excuse me. You can call him at 855-MKTNG-CO, or you can email him, Scott at MKTNG.co.
Next week,
Next week?
as we continue with Entrepreneur Week, we have my good friend and colleague Jean Fox of Fox Productions,
Okay.
TV production company. So Jean's background is in modeling. She was actually the spokesperson for The Big Spin for a number of years in the 90s. Spinning the wheel, runs a production company, a makeup artistry company, and then her and her husband also have a Halloween prop company for haunted houses.
Speaking of Halloween and shaving.
They're in all kinds of interesting industries
Things.
that
Oh,
aren't,
good.
behind the computer type jobs.
So another entrepreneur, which is this is always a good topic. I think entrepreneurs. There's so many of them, and it's always interesting to meet ones like yourself, Scott, who are doing well and are succeeding and starting new businesses. Like I said, a kind of serial entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think entrepreneurs always have a unique perspective, and I think the idea, the ultimate entrepreneur is just shaping the world around you. Don't allow walls or barriers to keep you from what you want to do.
I love it.
Find
Yeah,
something
that's
to do
great.
and do it better.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And that's what you've done, and congratulations. Sounds like
Mic
you're doing
drop.
well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good.
No, don't though. This is expensive equipment.
Yeah, no, we'll
I
get
don't
trouble.
even get to hold the mic.
No,
Everybody
no,
does.
you can't. We can't be trusted with holding the mic. But you've been listening to Beyond the Numbers on Monday 105.5 FM, part of the Wall Street Business Network. Katie and Mark will be back next week with our guest Jean Fox and continuing the conversation on Entrepreneur Month.
All
Have a
right.
great week, everyone.
Have a good week. Bye. Okay. These headphones.
Jerry freaked out.
What?
He was freaking out. So you got that off?
What happened?
Oh, hold on.